Welcome back to Probie to Pro. We mentioned rigs and leg change override in a previous video, but today we're going to go into a bit more detail. Your primary references for rigs and overrides are CBA Section 2 and the Scheduling Handbook. The Contract Admin Committee is also an excellent resource if you get stuck or confused somewhere. The 30,000-foot view is that rigs provide minimum pay protection for unproductive days and trips, and overrides provide extra pay on top of the leg credit. With that said, let's talk about rigs in more detail. There are two main categories of trip rigs: duty period rigs and trip rigs. Quick note, you are always paid the greater of the leg credit or the rig. Duty period rigs include duty hour ratio and duty period minimum. Duty hour ratio, or DHR, guarantees at least 0.74 TFP per hour of duty, regardless of how much flying you do during that duty day. Think of a weather or mechanical event that keeps you waiting at the airport all day, but eventually cancels all your flights. Duty period minimum simply means that each day of your pairing will pay at least 5 TFP. If your leg credits or duty hour ratio isn't greater than 5 TFP, then duty period minimum would apply. Duty period minimum and DHR look at each individual day, but trip rigs look at the entire pairing. There are two different trip rigs: average daily guarantee and trip hour ratio. Average daily guarantee guarantees that the pairing pays at least 6.5 TFP per day on average. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 day pairings pay at least 6.5, 13, 19.5, and 26 TFP respectively, even if each individual duty period only pays 5. Trip hour ratio guarantees a minimum of 1 TFP for every 3 hours you are away from the domicile, from check-in on the first day to release on the last day. Here's a recent trip I flew that shows both duty period minimum and average daily guarantee. The leg credit for days 1 and 3 were both less than 5 TFP, so it shows 5 as the duty period credit. Even though the leg credit on day 2 was higher at 7 TFP, the 3 days only add up to 17 TFP, an average of less than 6 per day. So we know that average daily guarantee will apply and the trip will pay 19.5. Okay, that's it for rigs. Now let's talk about overrides. For starters, let's talk about how to verify your override credit. If your trip has overrides, your trip sheet will likely say audit required at the bottom, meaning that flight ops payroll must complete a manual audit of your trip. It may take a week or so, but when they are done, it will say audit complete. When you see that, double check your payroll report and compare it to the SWAPA Pay Audit tool. If it still doesn't look right, email contract admin. But please be patient and wait for the process to play out. Also, please do not call contract admin with pay questions unless it's time sensitive. Email them at contractadmin@swapa.org. Overrides stack on top of leg credits and rigs. You will find override values on the payroll report, so check there before you call contract admin. Always wait until you see the audit complete notation in CWA before verifying the overrides were applied. With that said, here are some of the common overrides. Ground time override applies whenever actual ground time exceeds 150 minutes unless you cause the ground time by calling to change a deadhead or something like that. Another caveat: if you are on day 2 or 3 of a pairing and your first leg is delayed, you will get ground time override if you report to the airport on time, but you will not get ground time override if you elect to stay at the hotel and delay your report time. Late return override adds 1 TFP if your original last leg of the pairing blocks in more than 2 hours late. Reserve release override is a 50% leg credit premium if you are on reserve and your last leg of the assigned reserve pairing blocks in more than 15 hours past the start of the rep, unless you're already being credited with LCO or late return override for that leg. Long duty override credits 1 TFP for extended duty days that are longer than 12 hours. And yes, you could get paid ground time override for a long sit, and then LCO for a new leg, and then long duty override for a long day. All of those 3 overrides could apply for the same day. Night override applies for legs including deadheads that are scheduled or operate between 0100 and 0500 domicile time with a 3% leg credit. ETOPS override is a 5% leg credit, and international flights pay a 3% leg credit. Holiday overrides credit an additional 6.5 TFP to any duty or wrap performed on one of the holidays listed in CBA Section 2 Juliet 13, but you won't get the holiday pay if you call out sick. One important note for probationary pilots: if you pick up out of open time over a holiday, both your pairing and your holiday override pay will pay at second year rates. Again, the holiday override is on top of the trip credit. So if you fly a pairing over New Year's Eve and New Year's Day that pays average daily guarantee of 19.5, the holiday overrides would bring the total credit of that pairing up to at least 32.5 TFP. So while being Super Junior often results in having to work holidays, Contract 2020 has now made that very lucrative. To sum up, rigs provide minimum pay guarantees for unproductive days and pairings, and overrides stack on top of your leg credits and rigs. Again, please be patient with the pay audit process, and please contact contract admin via email for pay-related questions. The scheduling handbook also has some great examples that walk you through all of these overrides, so please look there for a more thorough explanation. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and join us next time for more on pay audits.